Hey everybody, good morning. And what a morning. I'm reading the feeds on Facebook and social media and all my friends on Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, it's a really, really tough feeling. First off, Donald Trump won the U.S. presidential election. Congratulations to him on pulling off what people thought was impossible. But I'm reading the feed of all my friends, and people are devastated. People are upset, and I feel for you. I'm devastated. Did you have a hard time getting up this morning? There's some of my friends were messaging me saying that I'm having a hard time getting up. I don't know how I feel. People are having trouble getting out of bed this morning. I had trouble getting out of bed. I only showered and shaved just now because I was reading everything and feeling really, really kind of depressed, and and trying to wrap my head around what's just happened and the impact of it and what it means on so many levels. There's several things that I want to talk about that throw me off, and there's three big things that I think are really, really daunting about what has happened. The first one is obvious, but I'll get to that in a second. There's two other things. One would be the Supreme Court thing, because now that Trump is in, the Supreme Court stuff, they could bring in one or two Supreme Courts which will fundamentally change. And again, I have no problem with conservative values. I think it's important, but you want to have the right balance of that plus progressive. And what's going to happen is it's probably going to set things back 20, 30 years in terms of progressiveness, with the Supreme Court being so conservative. That to me is a huge, huge loss for what could happen, and especially because the one Merrick Garland that Obama had put together, they refused to bring him in for 9 months. So that to me is a big piece. The second piece that's really devastating is the fact that not only did Trump win, but the Senate and the House are all Republican, which means that all three parts of the government are Republican, which means they could easily undo everything Obama's done in 2 years. They could get rid of Obamacare. They can get rid of all the positive stuff that he's put together, and that to me is devastating. The third thing is really devastating is really the whole idea of what people have voted for. The fact that more than half the country, has voted someone in who has said such outrageous, divisive, hate, fear, ignorance, racist, sexist, bigoted things. That to me is undaunted. And I understand people are frustrated with the elite. They're frustrated with the system, the politics. I totally get that. But again, if I'm frustrated with my education system and I have a teacher or principal that would say or do such hateful, divisive things, I wouldn't want them to be the principal or my kid's teacher. If I wouldn't want someone who says such racist, bigoted, divisive, hateful things to be my mailman or to be my grocery or to even be my parents or my kids. I don't want them to be like that. So to me, the frustration, and the people have spoken, and again, mostly who are these people? I mean, they're all very frustrated, and and people say, well, it's the white uneducated people. No, actually, a lot of Hispanics and blacks and other races voted for this guy in larger numbers than they did for Romney, which is kind of surprising. So yeah, and I'm devastated because I don't know how to explain this. I don't know how to explain this to my kids. Like, what do I say to my kids? Do I say that, hey, it's okay to not prepare or do your homework? It's okay to say racist things and call Mexicans rapists. It's okay to say sexist things and tell people you get your way with women and you're able to kiss and grope them however you want. It's okay to say we want to ban all Muslims, or it's okay to say to punch that guy in the face. It's okay to lie over and over again. And then even when presented with, here's what you said, here's the video, no, you lie too. That is, how can we say that to our kids? Our kids are going to learn from this, because in every leader, and particularly the president, that's the biggest leader in the world, you want to have someone where you can say, this is the type of leader we aspire to be. I'm devastated because Obama, even though so many people hate him, whether he's black or whether they didn't like his policies, but there's so much hate for him, but he was the best president they ever had in so many ways. And then went from that right into the crapper with someone who says, who lacks knowledge, is unprepared, is unpredictable, and says such horrible, racist, divisive, hateful things. So how do I tell my kids who's this guy? Now, we can all hope for the best. Say, well, maybe Trump will change, but he hasn't changed since the very beginning. I mean, again, I hope he changes. We should call on him to change. We should call on him to be better. We should call on him to, and again, do it in a nice, peaceful, thoughtful way. Or you know what? If you're angry, then by all means, give him a couple months and then just share your anger. But if we want to, bring about change, we have to be the better example, the better people, and call on it using the powers that we have of reason and logic and rationale and emotion and stories and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what to tell my kids. I told my kids, they were like, oh, did Trump win? I was like, yeah, and mommy and daddy are sad. And they're like, well, why did he win? I said, well, I didn't know how to say it. I said, well, they said, what's wrong with him? I said, well, he's a bucket dipper. He dips into people's buckets and he takes away their happiness and their joy by doing mean things. And I mentioned, yes, we have to hug each other through this and support each other. And I was watching all the, also devastated me watching the feed. All my friends are so upset. They're so feeling hopeless. They had trouble getting up this morning. They're feeling so sad. They're feeling so disconnected. They're feeling so fearful. And yes, I think it is a bit of a challenge. I don't know what to tell my kids. And I'll tell you another thing. Every single aspect of, what people have voted in or the type of person they voted in. Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter and George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton, they would never say the things that Trump says. They would never act or behave in the way they say. I mean, yes, all politicians are a little bit corrupt and they kind of lie and mislead, but not in such a ridiculous, ballsy way. Out there, just like, I don't care that there's videos saying that I said X, I didn't say X. That to me blows my mind. So, we need to be, and again, supporting each other and sharing the love and sharing hearts is helpful. If you like what you're hearing, by all means. I think it's an important discussion to have. And, I think also, keep in mind that, you have to be able to stay on your message and, fight the battles that are important to you. And, if you believe in the environment, then by all means call on your government officials and call on people to fight for the environment. If you believe in social justice, call on the government, your MPs, and people around you that care about the social justice so you can try to get what you want. It's important for us to call on our government officials to, represent all people. I think, and again, I was watching Van Jones. I think the best thing he said, yeah, I can understand people who are really feeling good about being part of Canada. People want to come to Canada. Yeah, it's fine. We love people, so come join us. The other thing is now, for me, the part that is emotionally hard is the fact that it's really basically the things he said and done. And hope maybe he won't do it again. I don't think so because, I lost my faith in Donald Trump in 2006 when he called Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig, and he hasn't changed that position. He even doubled down on it. And someone who says such things, I don't want them to be my president, my business leader, my parent, my mailman, my principal. I don't want them to do anything like that. So that to me is a really, really hard thing to deal with. I'm teaching a course, and I'm teaching a fourth year university. What do I tell my students? These students are 20, 21 years old. They're 22 years old. They're about to graduate. They're about to go off in the world. What do I tell them? Do I tell them it's okay to do the things he did in order to get elected? To just say really outrageous, insulting things and divisive things and fuel people's fear and tell people to punch someone and to focus on our base fears in order to get popular and get followings and things like that. To his credit, he was smart because he read the majority of American peoples would go for it, and they did. But I think there's there's so many other things at stake here in terms of, gender equality. Are Americans able to or willing to elect a woman? Because Hillary Clinton was probably the best chance they ever had because of all her experience and her knowledge and her ability and how she got to where she was. Maybe there'd be another one. I don't know. I know Michelle Obama doesn't want to run for it, and maybe Elizabeth Warren. Who knows? But that was their best chance. And I think it's important for us to understand who these people are, and there's going to be a huge divide that needs to be healed. So is Trump the one to heal the divide? Based on his divisive nature, I don't know. Let's see what he does. But what do I tell my 21, 22-year-old students? That it's okay to be like him. It's okay to play those fears. I don't know. I don't think it is okay. And so that's why It's hard as a parent. It's hard as a teacher. It's hard as someone who's been watching politics for 30 years. I've been watching politics since, Carter, Reagan days, and in Canada, the Trudeau, Mulroney days. And to watch this is really, really challenging, I think. It's very, very difficult. And let me be, I try to be positive. I try to be, all about evolving, learning, growing, and being grateful. And what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I live in Canada. I'm grateful that there still were, 47.5% of people who, actually, the majority of people voted for Hillary versus Trump. The majority of people still support her and the ideas that she was espousing. And I think that there's a lot of, and the idea of just dismissing people for whatever is a bad idea. I mean, for the most part, they have real fears and they rationalize them however they do it. I think the bully thing is going to be a big challenge. Is it okay to bully people? And they'll say, well, he does it. He doubles down and even says things like, you come down 10 times faster on these people. And that is a big challenge. And, let me tell you right now, his bullying, Trump's bullying, offends me as a heart leader, as someone who wants to be open and to care about people and nurture people. His racism affects me as a visible minority and makes me fearful that it's going to get worse for us post 9/11, now post Trump. His sexism offends me as a feminist. That women equality, the only way women's equality is going to get better, women will have to stand up, but also men have to be part of that equation. And if the president can't support that, it's a huge problem. His xenophobia offends me as a Muslim, because all my Muslim brothers and sisters are being completely ostracized because of his values, what he said, and also the people that follow him and what they say. And his politics of divisive politics of fear, hate, and ignorance, of the politics of ignorance, that offends me as an intellectual, because yes, we should now distrust any information and not take it and not use critical thinking to really understand the issues and the people that we need to work with. So for all those reasons, it's very offensive. And that's why people are scared. That's why people are upset. And it's not just, they're like, well, you're from Canada. Oh, what does that matter? Well, no, already his election is affecting the economy. It's going to affect trade with Canada. It's going to affect, my kids are going to say, well, is it okay to do those things? And I'm saying, no, it's not. They're going to say, well, why is he doing it? How can he become president? So it's definitely going to affect the global climate. It's going to affect many other things. But I'm feeling heartbroken. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling confused. I'm feeling a lot of emotions about today. I'm feeling demotivated to go to work, and I got to go to work and see my students and talk to them and tell them that it's okay to be a leader. It's okay to do these things. It's okay to, or at least try to rationalize something. The biggest lesson here again is understanding that there are a lot of upset, angry, confused people who are voting, and there's going to be a great divide. So what are we going to do to heal that divide? Given that the Republicans own the House and the Senate, and now the president, that's going to be a big challenge. I'm not sure how far this is going to, what kind of repercussions it's going to have, but I am watching, and I will watch it, and I will call out the things that I think are wrong, and I think you should too. And so, how do we move forward on this? I mean, most of us who are sad and depressed and can't get up and can't get work, it's, even though we're upset and even though we're mourning today and even though we're heartbroken, we can still be grateful for what we do have. We can still show love to our fellow citizens who are mourning or feeling sad. We can offer our support and our hope that he and the new government-elects will do their best to represent all people. And if they don't, well, then eventually we'll call them out on it and try to do what we can to try to create the positive change that we all want. So, have patience, have faith, never lose fear or hope. Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and the best of things never dies. So I hope you found this talk helpful. I find it helpful for myself because I'm trying to rationalize it. I'm trying to get myself motivated to move on and try to see what's going on. But I had a lot invested in it. That's why I posted so much, because I was so invested in what was going on. I really, really cared. This is the biggest, most important election of my lifetime, and so given that it's been a devastating loss, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what the next steps are, but I do know that we all, most people in the network, we all believe in positive change. We all believe in doing the right things, and we will continue to call out that which we see is wrong, and I hope that and we should call out any and future racism, sexism, xenophobia, bullying behavior, politics of ignorance, fear, and hate, and quell that, nip that in the bud, and focus on things about love and ideas and support and understanding and empathy and everything we can do to try to make this world and this country and this North America, not just Canada, but also the United States and all around the world, a better place for everyone. Because whether Brexit or Trump wins, these are really trying times for us, and I am a little bit nervous. I mean, my wife and I were talking last night, and we were quoting songs from like Rent, right? There's only us, there's only this. Forget regret, for life is yours to miss. So no day but today, we have to do what we can, try to make it better. So if you have any thoughts or comments or idea, again, comment below. Let me know what you think. Share this with people. Let's have a discussion about politics. Let's have a discussion about parenting. Let's have a discussion about leadership. Let's have a discussion on how to move on and to make this better. And I'll try to be here every day with my Facebook live chats, and I want to hear your voice too. And thanks for letting me share my voice. Have yourself a great day, and we will connect again soon. Bye.